thank you so much for coming as well, taking the time out of your evening. I know the kids have definitely been pushing it. They're very excited to get their own devices. You just need to make sure that you've signed in and that you've got one of these cards, one per family. And I just need students sitting with parents. So if you're sitting with friends or someone else, you just need to be sitting with your parent that's here, which is really important. And I'd like to welcome Grant Fitzgerald from the CEO. So can we please give him a warm round of applause? That's about where my knowledge ends. I'll hand it over to you.
Evening, everyone. We ran a session this morning at 9 o'clock with nearly as many people here then as now. I have to say I'm not an expert at this. I'm a teacher by trade. I taught here, and some of you, if you're a second or third generation here, you'll probably remember Mr. Fitz being here in 1985, 6 or 7. Or that was, yeah, around about then. That was me. I've got a little bit older, chubby. But my job at the Catholic Ed Office is working in digital technologies. I do a number of cyber safety things every year, but I have to say I'm not an expert. But I've got a passion for keeping the kids safe, and by extension, you people in the room who are with them. Because you'll learn something tonight, and when you leave tonight, you should go home and check. So, the internet is part of our life. Love it or hate it, it's here. So, it's a great place to learn, socialise and have fun. But, there's a big but here. We want to try and keep you safe. Yeah, probably would work better. So this is our agenda. Only going to keep it here for an hour. We're going to look at digital footprint, what that means. We're going to have a look at some social media settings. This is what you're going to check when you go home. We're going to talk about oversharing, and our last session is always about staying safe. Okay? But first I'm going to start with a story. A long time ago, I was 15, just about to turn 16. And Mum and Dad building up this present that I was about to get when I was 16. I was becoming an adult, so this is a sensational present I'm about to get. And I kept building it up for about 2 months before I got it. I remember on the morning, that's not actually me, but got the same look as me about that time. I was sitting there, they brought out the present, it was wrapped beautifully. I remember opening it, and it was a beautiful new 2-slice toaster. State of the art in those days. But you can imagine a 16-year-old young fellow looking at this toaster going, this is supposed to be the best present ever, and it's a toaster. So quite understandably, I lost it. I got a bit angry. I just left it on the table, mumbled a few things that luckily Dad didn't get. But outside, I jumped on my bike. I couldn't find my bike. I wanted this, but I couldn't get one because it was too expensive. But I was riding around, just losing it completely. I rode around the streets, across the road, and there was this little old lady over the road who was not a nice lady. Truth be told, she was a shocker. And she wasn't nice to kids in particular. So she could see I was a little bit. And she tried to push me up and say, what's wrong with you? Word on the end. And I just said, shut up. Which I'd never said to her before. Not proud of the fact. Anyway, that happened. After about an hour I calmed down, I came inside and they gave me my real present. I have no idea what that was. But I can remember that toaster very, very well. I want you to hold that story for later on. I'm going to firstly talk about your digital footprint. This is the definition of a digital footprint. That's too hard to understand, so I've got this one. Simply, your digital footprint is all the stuff that's on the internet about you or on devices about you. A digital footprint. There's two parts. The part that you put up there and the part that other people put up there. Okay? Can you influence this? Yes, you can. The research says this can be more positive if this is more positive. So if you say lots of good things, often it's good things coming back. If you say lots of bad things, guess what? Lots of bad things come back. We'll talk more about that. So people use the internet to post or share things that they're interested in, funny things. Things that they want to buy or have bought. Their garden when it's working and when it's not. Or just things that might be grab their attention because they're fantastic. Skating on an ice, on a lake, covered in ice. All great things. But if what you share causes people to be like this, I'm going to challenge you to change your activities and your behaviour. So if you've put something up online that causes these people to react like this, I'm going to challenge you to change your behaviour. I hate this last one. It starts really young. Okay? Got that point? Good things, bad things, all make up your digital footprint, whatever you put up there.
We were really impressed with your resume, Miss Brown.
Not to mention your academic transcript. And I see here you won several awards for university projects.
Yes, and I also volunteer on weekends.
I also see you're into taking selfies.
And tagging friends and embarrassing photos.
And posting status updates about your incompetent boss.
She didn't get that job. Okay. Digital footprint can affect this. Not sure if you know this, but there are now new jobs in the world about people that go and check your digital footprint after you go for a job. It's a growing industry. So if you have done something 5 years ago that was really stupid and you put it online and they see that, the chances are that the other 150 people going for that one job might get a leg up in front of you. Have a chat about that with the person who came. We're going to do a lot of talking with our people that we're here tonight with. Your digital footprint can affect what happens to you in the future. Have a talk about that. Finish off those conversations, they're fantastic. We want you to keep those conversations going tonight and in the future. Why some people might hire you after they check your digital footprint. Because what you say matches up to what's online. Kids, this is important for you. If you use online to write well with capital letters, proper punctuation and correct spelling and all that stuff, you're more likely to get the job. That's interesting. I didn't realise that. But if you go you as just a you when you're typing your words into your text or whatever, that's not good communication skills. So there's one for you kids that the teachers will pick up on. If you're going to share, make sure you write well. A professional image. They're creative with their use of online spaces. You have a positive online presence. We talked about what's positive. Putting stuff up there that's good. With a history. Okay? Talk about that one in a sec. Why you don't get the job after they check. Your posts are negative about other people. They're looking to have people come into their organisation and work with them. They don't want people who are nasty. You talked about your previous job or your previous school negatively. You write poorly. You're probably not going to get that job. You post. This is critical, especially if you're a teenager going into early 20s. That's critical. Too many inappropriate images are posted. You post it too often, or while you're at work. Bosses do not like people posting when they're supposed to be working. Happens a lot. Your screen name is inappropriate, which doesn't happen as much anymore, but it used to happen a lot in the old days. You are a ghost online. That's an interesting one. So when they go and check you, and they find that you've got accounts, you've got Facebook, you've got Instagram, you've got a few accounts, but you do not have anything in them because you've had to go and delete it all because it was inappropriate. Okay? So you won't get the job. If there's 150 going for that one job, straight off the top. If you want your dream job, make sure you post appropriately. There are 10 things here you need to know. Whenever you do something online, it leaves a trail. There's things like the IP address of the computer, where and when it was, where in particular. It leaves a trail. So that's your digital footprint. It builds all the time. Whatever you search for. They can be searched and shared. Your digital footprint, if you're getting the message that I'm trying to get to you, is it's going to either help you or it's going to harm you. It's going to be there though. One thing I get challenged on a bit, kids say to me, oh, I deleted it. It's not gone. Once it's there, it's there. It stays. Snapchat, heard of that company? One of their taglines is, doesn't take many seconds and it's gone. It's gone off their servers, it's not gone. There are mirrored servers all around the world that capture things all the time. Mirrored service means whatever happens here, happens here. The mirror. So they delete it off their servers, they're not off the mirrored servers. Anything that goes online stays there. Always think before you do any posting, we'll talk about that a bit more. Personal information, we're going to talk about that. Googling yourself is an interesting activity. I've done that. If you've got old or inactive accounts, delete it, get rid of them. Keep your personal details and control your privacy settings. We're going to talk about that in a second. And be very aware of the digital footprint of others. If you do not have permission to use their image, you are not allowed. And it's going to be law. If it's an inappropriate image, it's law already. But it's going to be law before too much longer. The misuse of other people's pictures. It does matter what you put up online because it's there forever. Have a quick chat to each other. What do you think these companies are for? Okay, I'll tell you. These companies claim, and they will charge you lots of money, and they're popping up like wildflowers, to delete your history. So that if you've got inappropriate things in your history that you want to get rid of, these companies say they will get rid of it. Charge a lot of money, can't deliver. It is basically impossible to get rid of everything about you offline, online. But they'll happily take your money, and then if you read the fine print, because they've been challenged in court, if you read the fine print, no one ever does. It says the company might not be able to get rid of the details. Okay? So, this is an important quote, because everything you do these days ends up in your permanent record. The best plan is to overload Google with lots of good stuff. Stay away from the poor stuff, and you have to act like you're on candid camera, because you are. Talk to each other. What's candid camera? What candid camera is all about? Okay, a bit proud, I understand not having go. Candid camera is an old television show that used to put cameras hidden so that people would do funny things. That was funny. There's no security cameras in here, we checked this morning. But everyone has one of these in their pocket, which can record film now. Doesn't matter where you go, you're always able to be filmed. And you can be filmed all the time. So, best rule, overload Google with lots of good stuff. So the lessons from our digital footprint part of our evening: fill up your digital footprint with good things. Imagine you're always on candid camera. And when it's time to get your dream job, go and get it. Don't let something that's happened stop you getting it. All right? It's real. Digital footprint is real, and people are looking at it more and more. Social media settings. It's our second part of the evening. How can I be sure my settings are right? One of the things that I've found working with students, and the laws around social media are, you need to be 13 to have it, and it's a federal law. And it's an American and an Australian federal law. Now, you probably don't realise what they do with your details. They on-sell them to companies trying to target you. So for younger people, that's difficult because they don't actually understand what is happening. But we're going to look at Facebook tonight. I'm going to talk about the settings of Facebook. Here's my Facebook account. I use it a lot. I don't post much. Share a bit, but I don't post much. But we're going to go over here to that triangle that's on the blue over there. When you click on it, it turns white. And we're going to come down to settings. Who's ever looked in here? All right, hands down. We've looked everywhere. We're going to look at privacy first. Some of the things that are in privacy, who can see your future posts? I didn't tell you this, but before this evening, I actually started doing a little bit of looking online to see if I could see anything from people I knew lived in Eagle Hall. It's amazing what I can find. Because that first one was probably set to public. So anything that you put online, if that says public, anyone can search. So I changed mine to friends. Who can see your friend request? Only friends of friends. Who can see your friends list? Just me. If that's public, people can check who are your friends. You don't want that. So I want you to look at this privacy setting. Oh, no, these two. By default, these are set to public. Who can see your email address you provided to Facebook? Who can see your phone number you provided to Facebook? That's highly important. Check it tonight. If you go to timeline and tagging, who can post on your timeline? By default, public. Okay? Tagging people. Tagging means finding them online and putting their name on them. Who can see what others post on your timeline? Only my friends. These two are big ones. If you've got location history turned on, if you're like me, and I've used Facebook on my phone, I don't go and flick it off. I just leave it on. I'm just not looking at it. So if I've got location history on, doesn't matter where I am in the world, at any time they know where I am. If that's set to public, they can all see. Anyone can search where you are at this stage. The other one's face recognition. I turn that off. By default it's on. And that means anyone who's got a photo of me on the internet can tag my face into it. I don't. So I turned it off. Apps and websites. You're probably like me and you come to a new website and it says login. I can't be bothered making an account, so it says nice and easy for me. Log in with Facebook. Ever noticed that? Anyone ever done it? Yeah. This is what happens. I logged into the North Melbourne app with my Facebook account. If I click on view and edit, this is what by default they get from me. They get to know my page likes and my email address. So go and check your apps and see what they're getting off you, because you can just turn them off. And there's more things as you scroll down. But each app is different. They get different things from you, so check that out. Blocking, we're going to talk more about this in a sec. Block users. If you put a username in there or an account of someone else that you need to block because they're making your life difficult, they do not get notification. That's a big thing they change. So once you put their name in there, it blocks them. You do not see any more of their stuff. They don't see any more of your stuff. But they don't know. So that's important. That's why kids in the past did not block them. Plus another reason. Here's something you can do straight away. If you go to the one next to the triangle with a little question mark, come down here to privacy checker, do a quick run through and see what your privacy settings are. Facebook got into trouble a couple of years ago because every time they made an update of Facebook, they set all the settings to public again. People did not know that. So they'd set up their privacy settings. Every time they did an update, it went back to public. So most of their stuff was public because Facebook operates best commercially by you being public. So check that out tonight. Watch this.
Hi there, I'm Jack Bale. One of the things that we use social media for all the time is to announce our upcoming activities. Where we eat, where we're going to be, how long we're going to be there. I wonder how hard it would be to go out in public and really track these people down based on what they posted. Are you Ashley?
I am, yeah.
You're Ashley?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. I'm Jack.
Hi.
What's that?
Do I know you?
No. Brett Van, how's it going, man? Good, what's going on? Hi, how are you? I'm Jack. Gary?
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, dude? Jack. Yeah, from class. I'm usually pretty good with names and stuff.
That's fine.
I just guessed yours, yeah. Utah, right? Yeah. See, it comes to me. I'm not weird or anything like that. I just sometimes I pick up things about other people. You were taking finals the other day, like 2 weeks ago. Which day final? Do you remember? Which class? Medical. You had the thing, and didn't you go to ASU? I don't know. Hang on a second. Excuse me. Do you have a black dog? Yeah. Do you have a black dog? Yeah, sorry, maybe I got the wrong guy. You like fast cars and yeah. I'm Jack. Is your last name G? Started with a G? Like G? I know it's about me. I'm not really psychic, but I did see your post, and Microsoft hired me to do a social media experiment. We're shooting a hidden camera segment for Microsoft experiments about social media, and you posted something that we saw what you look like. So like, okay, so we can't wait, but you made it public. And they got all that information just by your social media posts. It was location based and in real time, like real Twitter time. Social media experiment, man. Okay. Good to meet you. Thanks for being cool, man. So it all comes down to this. Do 1 thing. Share your plans with your friends, not the rest of the world. Because next time, it may not be me researching your exact location. It could be a potentially dangerous person.
So, how did you know all that stuff? Change. Lessons from social media settings. Make sure it's only your friends who see what you post. Make sure location tracking is off. When you go home tonight, check your settings. Okay? Not only little people who shouldn't have an account. Anyway, I'm not asking. Big people check your account. Oversharing.
The idea of, posting and having more people see it can definitely be kind of scary. If you're a teenager, you're going to make bad decisions sometimes.
They can screenshot it, they can do so many things to save that, and they can edit it in ways that you won't want them to.
Whether or not you think it'll go away, it's there. Anything you post online, you're stuck with.
Oversharing to me is putting too much of your personal life in front of a wide audience of people.
Posting something for the sake of showing that you're there and maybe not because you're actually having that great of a time.
Posting about things that people don't necessarily think are significant, but they're just kind of posting to be posting.
What you share and how often you share is going to affect the way that somebody views you. Just because I'm going to post all the time, that doesn't mean that you're going to get all the attention. That doesn't mean that everybody's going to like you.
For example, people have Finstas or spam accounts where they just post random stuff, and sometimes they get too personal with what they're talking about on there.
Things that are meant to be texted one-to-one, people tend to post online so 50 other people can see their plans for tomorrow or the next weekend. You could be doing something that could potentially endanger yourself by making your account public and saying too much about where you live or who you are.
When I'm in a cool location and I want to show everybody where I am, but most of the time I'll just tag where I am with a Snapchat story so people can know.
So once you put something online, it can be there forever because people might take screenshots, they might record it, they might save it.
I don't think people don't realize that it's going to be there forever. I think they just don't care. A lot of people have this mentality of what I'm doing is very insignificant. Why is anyone going to care about this?
You should be cautious of what you post. You don't post your pictures and think okay, nobody's seeing me, nobody's screenshotting me, nobody doing nothing, because people doing that, you just not gonna know.
Your Snapchats, despite the fact that they only last, 4 to 8 seconds, they're still there. Your Instagram stories that go away after 24 hours, they're still there. Anything that is posted, anything that's up, no matter what happens, even if you leave it up for a minute and take it down, it's there as soon as you put it up there.
No one's going to scrutinize everything that you say the same way that you might.
You are not obliged to post every second of your life in order to please what you might seem as the majority of people. So when you feel like you have to post all the time, when you feel like you have to do this in order to get fame and attention, you don't. That's not your job.
That's something you always have to be thinking about. What do you want people to remember you on social media as?
Okay. Have you got the message now that if you put something online, it's there forever? Okay. So, oversharing is basically sharing everything. good, the bad, and the who cares. And doing it all the time. I want to check something about sharing. If you're sharing and then you're hovering and waiting to see what response you get, check yourself. Because if that's the way you're feeling good about yourself by how many shares and likes you get, that's an issue. So be aware of that. If you want to share something, go for it. But don't sit around waiting for it to be liked or shared on. We talked about flood your shares with good. Try and stay away from the bad. Don't make decisions when you're angry. That's a really good idea. And stay away from the who cares, because who cares? I'm going to tell you a little story about some 13-year-old girls who went to an overnight stay. And one of the girls went off to the toilet. And the other two decided it would be pretty funny to open the door and take a photo of them. So they did. Didn't say anything. They took the photo. The girl inside the toilet freaked, of course. When she came out, she found out that they'd put it on Instagram. And they said, we put that on Instagram. They said they took it off straight away after they realised they shouldn't have done that. So they didn't think about it again. The next morning, she's gone to school. All these people are buzzing about her photo in the toilet. In 12 hours, 5,000 shares of that one photo. It was on the internet for less than a minute. Inappropriate sharing can cost people things like that. So that's the bad. Stay away from that. Kids, as you're growing up, you're going to have opportunities to do that. Stay away from it. Okay? Yappy. Your full name, your address, your phone number, your passwords and your plans, don't share them online. Sometimes as adults we have to share details like using reputable sites like banking ones, all that sort of thing. But if you're not sure, ask someone. These ones, be careful. The internet's full of opinions. 90% of them probably, I don't know, are negative. Because the people who have got a positive opinion about something usually don't share it. So share your positive opinions on things. If it's negative, hold back. Don't do it. Photos or videos, be careful with all that stuff. Geolocation. I'm not sure if you realise that any photo taken these days has where it was taken and the time it was taken embedded in the photo. Okay? So if you share a photo, anyone who knows what they're doing can find out where that is, even if your settings are private. So be careful of geolocation. So the lessons from oversharing. Don't share everything. You don't need to. Don't sit there waiting for responses either. If you're doing that, check yourself and say, oh, I need to step away from this. Keep your personal details offline and be cautious with what you share. Okay. Staying safe. First thing is about the password string. Kids, as we get to the stage where you are starting to create accounts online, choose a fairly safe password. And rule one, do not share it. We have a whole lot of research that says kids of about this age and a bit older share their passwords with their friends, who may not be their friends in 10 minutes' time. Boyfriends, girlfriends, worse. Things like that can change. Unfortunately, the person you fall in love with at 13 is not maybe who you're going to marry. So don't share everything, especially don't share passwords, inappropriate photos. What does cyberbullying mean? We talk about this image. Found this on Facebook. Is it bullying? When someone says or does something unintentionally hurtful and they do it once, it's if they say or do something intentionally to hurt you and they do it once, that's mean. If they say or do something intentionally hurtful and they keep doing it even when you tell them not to, that's bullying. Okay? So if an isolated incident happens in the yard 2 years ago and today, it's not bullying. It's just, they didn't mean to hurt you, they just did. It could be rude. Have a chat to each other about those three things. Make sure you understand the difference. So this is what bullying is. Intentionally hurting you. That whole stuff. That's what bullying is. Cyberbullying is just that online or with devices. So kids, I'm talking to you now. So what can I do about cyberbullying? If it happens to you and you see something and it's about you online and you get that feeling in your stomach that really cramps up and you feel, oh, and it grabs you, and you know what I'm talking about, that feeling. First thing you do not do is retaliate or respond. It's really hard to do that. Because all of a sudden the anger comes up and you start to write something. Don't retaliate or respond, because that's what they want you to do. Second thing, collect the evidence. Work out how to take screen snapshots of whatever they've sent. The research shows that kids don't do this. Parents. Kids, block the person who's doing it to you. We saw how to do it in Facebook. There's different ways to do it in different apps. But make sure you block them. Kids say to us, or to the researchers, but it'll make it worse if I block them. Kids, I'm telling you, it's not getting any better if you don't. You need to block them. You need to not have them sending things to you all the time. Go to the social media service that it happened on and tell them. You've got the evidence because you collected it. Send it to them. Now this is really important, kids. Do not go to school and talk to your best friend who's good on computers. Don't do that. Find a trusted person, and the person that is here with you tonight loves you enough to be here. They're the person you talk to. Okay? So you talk to them, say, this has just happened. Parents, you've got a responsibility here. I want you to know this. What happens with parents and why people don't tell you more than once is because you say, right, blocking it all. You've got no internet tonight. Okay? So the responsibility comes back to us. Don't block the internet, work through that. Have a discussion and say, all right, have you blocked the user? Have you kept the evidence? Let's report it to the social media people. And then we might have to go do something else as well. But don't take away their internet.
Scrawny, chubby, short,
Queer.
getting caught up in bullying, it's so easy because you're just glad that you're not being bullied.
It's been hard for me to stand up for other people because I feel like I'm already a target.
It's just easier to do nothing.
stop.
Fine.
Dude, ow.
Fine.
Stop. Ow. Stop.
Do you have any friends?
Yes, I heard you.
What are you even doing here? Dude, easy.
Stop.
Come on.
I get it.
Maybe you are a little bit more.
You think you're special?
One more Virginia meal.
Dude, stop.
I just opened it up and it's all smashed. Did you order bullied or unbullied? Bullied or unbullied?
Yeah. Do you have a manager that I can speak to? Because that doesn't even make any sense. Hi,
How's it going?
I was given this.
Did you bully this burger? Well, yeah. This is a defenseless Whopper Jr. It can't defend itself.
I don't mean anything by it.
Just relax.
Just relax. Just give me my burger, man.
What's going on in here? What? Are you? Is there something wrong with you?
Because that's clearly what happened.
Can't be serious. Had you seen me bullying this burger, would you have stood up and said something?
Yeah.
It's good smoke.
Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah? What's your name?
Reed.
Hi, Reese.
We're just having fun.
You having fun? He's not having fun. So therefore, I think you guys should just leave him alone.
Later. This feels better to me.
Have you ever been like messed with before?
Oh my god. This is like the ideal world is where if somebody else sees like something weird happening that they'll come over and be like, hey, this is not okay.
Yeah.
To feel defenseless, that's the one of the worst things in the world.
Chelsea came and she would just tell them that it's not okay because it isn't.
Something I'll never forget is my friend standing up for me.
I've been that kid, so if I see it, I'm gonna do something about it. And I hope there's more people out there like that.
So I'm now talking to you as if you have a friend who's been bullied. Don't comment, don't post images, do anything that will hurt others, and don't forward them on. Get out of the negative groups and the discussions that are going on. Report bullying to a trusted adult. Again, someone who loves you enough to be here tonight is the perfect person to start with. If you've got enough gumption, that's not easy to do, but if you have got enough gumption to go and call others on doing what they're doing to your friend, then do it. This is an important one coming up. The research tells us that when someone's being bullied, their actions change, they change, and friends withdraw from them. So if you've got a friend who's being bullied, it's your job to stay with them and get them through it. Okay? Parents, if you type in Esafety, you'll get a commissioner, full website, a whole lot of resources if you want to know more stuff. I get most of my things from them. It's really good. Think You Know is a really good site if you've got teenagers as well. So the lessons from this is you must talk to a trusted adult. If something happens and you get that feeling in your stomach and it's online, you talk to someone. Capture the evidence, do all that. Look after your friends. Okay? Friends are your friends because you're supposed to look after them. Do it. And stay safe. Right, got a Plickers card? You'll notice on your Plickers card, lost my iPad now, what am I going to do? I'll put it down somewhere too, so you can see my hand. Righto. You'll notice that there's A, B, C and D around the four corners. If you think the answer is A, you would hold up A. No, I think it'll work okay. Oh, I don't know. your first question? Let me get in my biggest part. If you, an online friend I haven't met before, wants to meet, which is the correct answer? A, B, C, or D? When you have an answer, hold up your card with the answer at the top. And I will see them. See the cards coming in? Sorry,
Put it up nice and high so see? Yep. Keep them still, nice and straight.
Captured as many as I think we're going to get. Might need a lot. The correct answer, because if I stop capturing, you'll do none of the above. This happens far too frequently. Online people who you think you know, you don't know. They can say anything they like because you don't see them, you don't meet them. They can say, come and meet me, we'll go and do whatever. You do not know. Do not meet them. Second question. When does your digital footprint actually start? When you think you have an answer, hold it up. Okay, the correct answer is when the hospital marks you as baby whatever with an ultrasound image, that's the start of your digital. So it goes a long way back. Next one. A website pops up asking for your address. What do you do? Okay. The correct answer is, most of you got it, well done. Remember our discussions about talking to a trusted adult? Leave it there, talk to them. If they say, yeah, that's all right, then you as young people probably won't put your full address in, you shouldn't. Time is much talk. Next one. Come on. Oh, that was the end of that one. Hang on. I don't have to do it. You won't get all the funky bits, but here's the next one. Alright. Line up. It was really good. Which one have you got up? Who said B? Who said A? I'm going with A. Some of them you can put up. Isn't that a positive look about the way you use your word? Don't put them all up. Let's overshare it. Next one. If your friend is being cyberbullied, get this right. You're in trouble. What should you do? Don't say anything. Just put up your card. My little thing inside. Calm down. Who said A? Who said B? Who said C? Who said D? All of the above. All of those. All of them. Okay. We're nearly finished. Remember my story? This happened a long time ago. I want you to go back to my story. How would it be different nowadays with social media the way it is? How would that story be different? Have a thought. Okay. How would it be different? How would it be different? Anyone like to throw out? Yes. Who would have put it on social media? A dad, probably. Me. Right at the start, when I was getting really built up and I was thinking this fantastic present I'm going to get because I'm now an adult, I would have been building this Instagram story. I didn't finish it. My dad was a great snapper on the phone, but he had to wait for months to get the roll off to the chemist and then he came back and got a photo. Some of them, most of them are no good for it. These days, he would have been taking photos of his iPad, putting them up on social media. Well, I don't know about that, but they would have gone up somewhere. And then he would have filmed me losing it about the present, and it would have gone outside. He probably would have snuck out outside too, throwing things around. Then getting on the bike and going across the road. Poor old, I nearly said her name. The lady over the road, who liked to push my buttons. She's gone to God now. She was old then. She's probably 40 or something. Really old. She probably went into her social media and wrote down that little snot from over the roads, just said, "Shut up to me." I'm not proud of that fact. And then when I calmed down, Dad would have again taken photos of me and video of me getting my real present. And I would remember what the present was. Because I still have it. The world is a different place than when I was growing up. It's a tougher place in a lot of ways. Much tougher. Okay. This is my rule. My grandmother. I know what it is. I'm going to tell you. If I'm about to post something online, in whatever state I'm in, calm, angry, sad, I think about my grandmother. Would she like to read what I'm about to write? If the answer to that is no, then I go, okay, maybe I should. The grandmother rule, put it in the back of your mind every time you go to post something. Okay? Doesn't matter if it's your grandmother. I said this morning, grandfathers are a bit dodgy, they won't let it go. Grandmothers, by and large, don't let it go. Be careful what you post. The internet's a really good place to learn, socialise and have fun. It's not going away, so use it well, but I want you to stay safe from using it. Okay? Thanks for coming.
Hi everybody, just a really big thank you to Grant for coming along. It's the second session that he's run for us today here, and he's done a really good job, so hopefully everyone's taken quite a bit away and